The best way to explain that is like holding a bumblebee in your fist, and the bumblebee, it keeps stinging you over and over and over again. That's how my life was before I came to Celebrate Recovery.
It hurt to be me. Life was hard. Everything I did was hard. If there would have been a way, I could have just cut myself out of my own skin, and that I probably would have done that.
I was so filled with anger and hurt that I didn't want to live anymore.
I was very codependent and suffered from food issues and depression and anger.
I was in a toxic relationship. My self-esteem was non-existent.
I was a child from a divorced family. I had issues with relationships.
I had chemical addiction issues and eating disorder.
I was addicted to methamphetamines for 24 years. Finally, in 2005, when I lost my wife, I was brokenhearted and lost without any hope. I came to the doors here at Celebrate Recovery, and my life has changed immensely since then.
Many times in our life we experience hurt. Sometimes we hurt others and ourselves. And out of those experiences, hurts, hang-ups, and habits can develop and hold us back from the authentic joy and freedom we long for. We want to change but often fall back and once again experience failure. Celebrate Recovery is a Christ-centered 12-step program for those of us that desire help and are ready to embark on a journey of real and lasting change.
When I walked through the doors at Celebrate Recovery, I was angry and bitter, hurting at a very deep emotional place. But what I found was a lot of love and grace and mercy.
It was like mercy and grace were waiting for me at the door, and love and acceptance brought me in. I've never experienced any of those things. For the first time I found out what they meant.
I started making friends, and the guys were real.
It was amazing how I was accepted immediately.
Everybody has hurts, habits, and hang-ups, so we're not surprised by anybody's story.
I started going to small group and sharing, a little at a time. And then I got into a step study, which was amazing.
Just coming to this program and getting involved in the 12 steps and the 8 principles, it took me on a journey that I never imagined. I could literally feel my heart changing.
The steps were hard for me to do. I had to dig into a place that I hadn't exposed in the past, and it was a road full of hurt, but it was a road full of healing. I was learning to trust other people, and I was learning to trust God, which I had never done.
When I went through the steps at Celebrate Recovery, I found that I was able to dig deeper into myself and start facing some of those character defects that had haunted me most of my life.
Sometimes you're willing, sometimes you're not. There's always something to be working on. Some of us come with a lot of baggage.
Sitting there listening to other women who were going through and felt exactly the way I did, it was just amazing. For the first time, I got to talk about what was going on, and one by one the walls of shame and the pain I was in started coming down.
I started working through the steps more and got real with the guys in the group and got real with God. The answers started to flow. It was opening things up that I had blocked and barricaded for a long time. A divorce some 20 years ago that I'd held inside. My codependent nature that I got from my father. The alcoholic in from my mother and my uncle and my grandfather.
So Celebrate Recovery has become a place where within the body of Christ that I could finally be honest without being judged, without being put down.
It was there that I found so many new friends, and it's not only just that they're friends, but they have become family to me now.
At Celebrate Recovery, I really learned about the grace, and I learned that I was not junk. I learned that Jesus did love me just as I was, and that I didn't need to be perfect to come to Jesus, that I needed to come just as I am.
I eventually got the courage to start to share what for me was the secrets that I was going to die with. I was molested when I was a child by the boys next door. When I was able to share that secret, it deprived it of its power. Instead of being bound by it and defined by it. I was free of it. I learned about God's forgiveness and grace toward me and how important it is to forgive those that have hurt me. But I was also able to forgive myself. It may be a hard concept to grasp, but He does love us. He has forgiven us. He's forgiven me.
But a lot of people, we may have struggles inside like, gee, if I tell someone, will they walk with me? Will they reject me? We've all worked through our stuff together. It's not a journey we do alone. It's a journey we take together. And God's been faithful in it.
At Bayside, we believe this: the mark of a God-honoring church is not whether you have stained glass, it's not music, it's not buildings. The mark of a church that honors God is this: lives are changing and lives are being transformed and people are finding hope. And I don't know any ministry in any church, including ours, that's having more impact on transforming people's lives than Celebrate Recovery, which is why we're glad you're here.
I'm 8.5 years sober now. I'm dealing with my codependent issues, and that's all because of this program. CR is an amazing program.
God has really done a lot of healing in my life and in my marriage and in my family. It is because of the recovery programs and because of Celebrate Recovery.
The depression that I suffered from and the addiction to relationships that I was suffering from are all under control now, and I'm happy to say that because of Celebrate Recovery, I have a marriage that is amazing.
There's no words to describe it. There's just none. My life is not my own. It belongs to the Lord, and it doesn't hurt to be me anymore. I feel like I'm alive. It's just incredible. I have had people come up to me and say, "You look different. You look different."
And today, I know that God has a wonderful plan for my life. There really is healing from the darkness of addiction and darkness of whatever people's hurts, habits, and hang-ups are. There is freedom for that, and God can snap those chains.
I've learned that recovery is progress, not perfection. And now I have a life that has hope and purpose in Jesus Christ. Now my victories are greater and more frequent, and my failures are fewer and smaller. The journey isn't easy. There are challenges. I still get discouraged. I'm still tempted to revert back to old unhelpful behavior. But even when I stumble, even when I slip, God gives me another chance. There's always another chance.
See a stream